Well, folks, we might be getting a Nintendo Direct as soon as this week, if not within a couple of weeks sitting here. And we have some new evidence to suggest this thanks to Nate the Hate. Now, there has been evidence out there, of course, speculating on a new Direct for this month. PH Brazil obviously being the leading insider, telling us that we should expect a general Nintendo Direct this month, even hinting at games like Kirby Planet, Robobot HD, and stuff like that, which is really exciting. Also, there's been some faint hints out there about a possible Zelda remake or remaster. Hoping it's maybe the one playing on the TV behind me, but we'll see. That is obviously some really exciting stuff. But the idea is, when is it happening? And look, we're in February now, so realistically, it could happen at any time. And there has been some maintenance scheduling that kind of suggests it could happen as soon as the 5th. And again, maintenance scheduling is, to me, more coincidental than it is definitive that something's going to happen, but still, it is something I am at least considering. It is something that I am at least listening and paying attention to, but I don't know that it really bears much fruit. But somebody who does bear much fruit is Nate the Hate. Nate the Hate is somebody who has just been chilling ever since the Switch 2 announcement. He told us the day it was going to happen. It happened that day, despite all the panic. He was right the whole time. So we're going to sit back and, rely on Nate the Hate and some of the light teasing he's doing here, that it could actually mean this week. And we may even have more information on this Direct very, very soon. Possibly as soon as this week, although maybe it's next week. Again, we don't know 100% for sure. But when he says the words he's saying, typically it means the following week. And since he said these words last week, it probably means this week. So we're going to dive into this here in a moment after I remind you, hey, we're on a road to 150,000 subscribers. So if you're enjoying all the content and you want to stay as up to date on Nintendo as you possibly can, all you got to do is tune in right here at Nintendo Prime. All right. We look over here on X, and this person, AF, says, hey, Nate, any estimates on when the new pod is dropping? Thank you. And he says, soon. Okay, so he's dropping a new podcast soon. He does the Nate the Hate podcast. That's where he dropped the Switch 2 stuff, information. Why does this matter? Like, look, he just did that Nintendo episode, right, for Switch 2. So why the heck would we assume this next one's going to be about Nintendo? Wouldn't the next one be about Sony? After all, he did an Xbox episode. He did a Nintendo episode. It would seem natural that Sony is up next. Well, maybe not. It actually seems like he's going to be doing Nintendo next. If we go over here to Family Boards, this person over there said, hey, Nate, is the podcast about Nintendo still planned? And he said, yes. And this was on Friday. He said, I'm just working to confirm a couple things and be given permission to discuss them. So he's got some sources on some stuff, and he just wants to make sure he's able to talk about them for this pod. Those sources might be about games in the next Nintendo Direct, right? And now this Hilarion guy says, since you've done Microsoft and Nintendo episodes, are we thinking the next episode will be Sony? So here we go, right? This is what the logical step is. Hey, you did Microsoft, did Nintendo, must be Sony next. And he goes, may do a Sony episode after the State of Play airs. Now, he has hinted the State of Play is happening in February, but what he's saying is the next episode isn't Sony. It's Nintendo. That next episode is soon, and the Sony one will happen sometime after the State of Play. Now, there is some rumors the State of Play is happening next week, not this week, maybe around the 9th. There are some rumors about that. His episode could then drop the following week after that. So maybe, 2-3 weeks from now is when we could be maybe looking forward to that Sony episode. And again, I'll probably be tuning in. But what's interesting here, obviously, is that he's saying, hey, no, that's not next. That's something we're going to be doing down the road after the State of Play. Surprisingly, not before. Like, he did the Xbox one before the Xbox event. He did the Switch 2 one before the Switch 2 event. It makes you wonder if maybe he doesn't have as much information for Sony stuff, so he's going to kind of wait till after the State of Play. Either way, I do find it interesting that, hey, he's essentially saying the next episode is Nintendo, and he's just waiting for a couple of confirmations that maybe he got over the weekend or something like that, and he gets it out this week because he said the next episode is soon, and he said that on the 29th, which is like 3-4 days ago. Again, usually when he says soon, he means the following week. So I'm suspecting by, sometime this week, it'll drop. Maybe it ends up dropping after the Direct, or maybe it drops before the Direct, or maybe the Direct isn't this week, and maybe it's the same week as Sony. Who the heck knows? Because, again, the rumor is obviously that it could be on the 5th, potentially, which is a Wednesday. Notably, the last 4 Nintendo Directs in February also happened on Wednesday. So that's just important to keep in the back of your mind when we're thinking about, hey, what could be the date of this Direct? If it's not the 5th, well, you go 7 days forward from that, and you get to the 12th. Could it be the same week as the State of Play? Of course it could be. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Now, as we sit back and we look at this Nintendo Direct that is rumored to be happening and heavily hinted to be happening, the number one thing we have to think about is what games could be in there. And look, there's not a ton of leaks and rumors surrounding this particular Direct. A lot of the leaks and rumors are around third-party games, including a brand new one related to Switch 2, but we'll get into that in a video later. That's right, you're going to get 2 videos today. But I want to focus in on this Direct and what could be here. And obviously, Kirby Planet Robobot coming back is a big one. It being in HD. I don't know they're going to do any new content. I think this is going to be a straight-up HD up-resing, maybe handled by Grezzo or something. I'm pretty excited just to have that game come back because, for my money, it's one of the better Kirby games, if not possibly the best. Forgotten Land kind of edges it out to me, but maybe I have some recency bias, but you know what? Kirby Planet Robobot, it's good to have that one come back. What I want to know is what else Nintendo has cooking. I do expect Metroid Prime 4 to be in this Direct for whatever that's worth, and along with Metroid Prime 4, maybe a shadow drop of 2 and 3 remastered or HD or whatever they decide to call it. So that would just be lovely. It would be a nice surprise, especially since Nintendo doesn't technically have any official published games releasing this month. Well, that could be because they're going to be shadow dropping 2 and 3, right? So that could be their plan this whole time. And remember, they did shadow drop 1, so we can't put that out there. They also shadow dropped, Pikmin 1 and 2 as well, HD. So Nintendo has a history now of doing this, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of this Direct. Then when we look beyond Metroid, obviously you start to, ironically, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now we're looking beyond Metroid. That's when we get into things like the possible Zelda remake or remaster. And we can't forget that rumor from PH Brazil where he talked about a beloved franchise coming back that's sort of a niche, so a smaller, haven't seen for a while, beloved franchise coming back. I don't know what that could be. That describes pretty much all of Nintendo's dormant IPs. Could it be a Punch-Out game? Could it be Wave Race coming back? Heck, they did F-Zero 99. Are we getting F-Zero, a brand new F-Zero game? Because he's kind of suggesting it's not a remake or remaster. It's something brand new. It could fit a lot of different games could fit that criteria. You could even argue Donkey Kong could fit that criteria because, believe it or not, we haven't had an all-new Donkey Kong game in over a decade. 2014. That's when Tropical Freeze originally came out. It's been that long since we've had an actual brand new Donkey Kong game. And Donkey Kong isn't like a huge seller. It's not like a mega seller for Nintendo. It sells like Kirby numbers. So Nintendo could, I guess the way you describe that, it could be beloved because it's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is beloved, but then also niche because we don't get those games very often and they don't sell extremely well. So I don't know. Maybe that could be the case. It feels a little weird because we had Donkey Kong Country Returns last month, but you know what? I don't think that game is going to steal any sales from a new Donkey Kong game. So, and there's been a rumored new Donkey Kong game in the works for years. So you never know. Those are the ones from Nintendo I'm sort of sticking my flag in. I don't know that Nintendo themselves will have any more announcements beyond that. I think a lot of stuff's being saved for the Nintendo Switch 2. But third parties could be going nuts. We have those reports that Nintendo was maybe asking third parties to port some of their older games over to Switch 1 to help fill out the slate this year. And with that massive install base, I'm sure third parties are really willing to do it. I will throw out one game that, look, it might be more exciting to save for April 2nd, but let's be real, it's also going to be coming to Switch, so they don't have to. And we're hearing hints that it's nearing the finish line, and that is Silksong. I know, guys, I know it seems like vaporware, but literally, I got to play Silksong. Here's footage of me playing it at E3 2019, as long ago as that was. Kind of insane, but hey, that's just footage of me playing it. Like, I do expect, in some ways, to be playing this game this year. And yeah, well, it'll probably be on Switch 2. I don't think that it needs Switch 2. So yeah, I'm going to sit back and say that I feel like that is a game we could see in here and would be a major get. And it's become kind of such a big talking point that skipping an indie world and going right into a general direct could make sense. Now, one game I'm not sure we're going to see from Nintendo is Pokemon Legends ZA. Look, they have a Pokemon Direct later. I think they might just save it for the Pokemon Direct on the 27th. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do just go all out and show it in this Direct, which they've now proven they can put Pokemon games in Directs. But in the same month, a Pokemon like Direct is happening. Like, would they really put that in there? They have a Pokemon Presents coming. I don't know. I think I would hold off if I was the Pokemon company and be like, hey, this just helps build further hype for the 27th. It helps spread news throughout the whole month. We also got to remember we have an investors meeting coming up. While I think most of that investors meeting is going to be focused squarely on Switch 1, it's possible at that investors meeting they announce the next Direct. After all, at an investors meeting back in May, they announced the Direct for June. So who the hell knows? Furukawa is just built different. At least that's what the children say. Built different. Well, Furukawa is built different because he keeps doing things differently. We could even get Switch 2 news suddenly on the 4th. A new feature. Social features. Who the hell knows? Because Furukawa does what Furukawa wants to do. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video because, look, we're going to go back-to-back recording. So if you like the Wind Waker playing behind me, it's probably going to be playing on the next video, even though it's not relevant for that video. Doesn't really matter because we have some more stuff we got to dive into. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Rebel-Jats from Nintendo Prime. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Man, Direct season is exciting, is it not? I think it is.